welcome to Sci-Fi Nut Web Series, episode number 1. Here it is, April 27th at 10:30 in the morning, Central Standard Time, and we're trying to kick off this new web show. And I hope that you tuning in, and you will enjoy what we're doing here. To tell you a little bit about Sci-Fi Nut Web Show, it's going to be a show basically about anything that has to do with science fiction, fantasy, comic books, gaming, conventions, movies, TV, books, anime, cosplay, geek girls, whatever comes our way, and we're going to talk about it. Some of the features that we will have will be going to different hobby shops and game stores, going out to conventions and talking to convention chairs and guests, and going to comic book conventions and talking about where conventions are at, what movies are coming up, movie stars, whatever we can put our hands on is what we are going to do. So I hope that you will keep tuning in and have a lot of fun with this. Now, since we do have a general science fiction theme, fantasy, that kind of stuff, that's good for the general audience, for just about everybody. But we're going to try to concentrate our efforts in the upper Midwest. So we're going to primarily talk about things in Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, Illinois, that kind of 4-state area. So if you're in that area and you have information that we should be carrying, such as things about conventions, if you have con schedules, guest appearances, what conventions are coming up. If you're a movie maker and you have a science fiction or fantasy or horror movie, something like that, you have trailers for it, hey, send us the trailer. We will be happy to put it on the air. If you also want to do your own reports, do a little video report of convention that you're attending and send it to us, I can just about guarantee sooner or later it'll end up on our air, because trying to do a weekly show, we need a lot of stuff to put on the air. So for right now, we're going to try to do a weekly show, but who knows? Maybe we'll get into every other week. One of the things that we did here a week or so ago is we attended OdysseyCon 13 up in Madison, Wisconsin. It's one of those that I go to a lot. I've gone just about every year, one way, shape, form, or another. I've gone as a guest. I've gone as a room party thrower. I've gone as a dealer. So I've been to OdysseyCon a lot, and I really enjoy it. So this year, I'm going to do a little bit of a recap of OdysseyCon. It's on videotape. I don't really talk much through the videotape, so watch the screen. It's got some comments and stuff, some pretty cool music to go along with it, and we will talk again after this plays. So just hold on. Here comes OdysseyCon 13.
Workshop at Columbia College in Chicago, which may be partly where this panel topic came in, since at Columbia College we have a fiction writing department, which is a group of teachers who are what they refer to as specialty writing teachers. Those are the folks who teach science fiction writing like me, or horror and historical writing like Lord Castle, fantasy writing like Ethan Jett, or what is called popular fiction, and in faculty meeting one day, I put forth a little statement saying that all of us in here, want the same thing, which is for our students to
Storm, The Beast.
The Beast.
Oh, that's right, the Beast. Was it like Metamorph?
I think at the time it was called Mark.
About that right away.
It's like it's literally right in front of you.
I don't know if anybody got this one before. 1985 anime was one of the first released outside of Japan. It took place in the year 1290 in post-apocalyptic.
That rule for a long time. And then by sometime in the late 50s, publishers, but so getting back to kids, so do you think having kids has changed the way you look at your writing in terms of, not as audience, but I mean just the experience?
Okay, so that was OdysseyCon 13 in Madison, Wisconsin. That was about a week ago. And we really had a good time there. I spent a good portion of Saturday and a part of Sunday there and really, really enjoyed myself. Now, if you want to keep up with con schedules, such as OdysseyCon, what you can do is go to my Facebook page. I've listed it down here on the bottom so that you can see. It's facebook.com/sci-fi nut. And on there, click on the events section and you will see different conventions listed. Now, the only way I can do it on Facebook is to list them like that, and it says I'm attending all of them, but no, I am not attending all of them. It would cost me a fortune and time and energy, and I don't have the money. I would love to, so if anybody out there wants to help sponsor this program, send me cash. We'll get you sponsored, we'll get you an ad on the air, and I'll be able to go to conventions and do more interviews and things like that. And if you do run a convention out there and you want us to come and film your convention and put you on the air and interview your guest, please give me a holler. I'd love to do that. Again, that is facebook.com/sci-fi nut, and we will, get you taken care of there. So that was OddCon. One of the things that we did with OddCon was I was able to talk to the con chair. I've always wanted to talk to a con chair and find out what goes through their minds. Some of them got to be crazy just for accepting the job, and others don't know what they're getting into when they do accept the job. So We've got OddCon 13 chair Lori Ann Curley, and we interviewed her on a Saturday morning after things got going. So let's take a look and see what's up with her. Thanks for joining us today. Here I am in Madison, Wisconsin at Odyssey Con 13. Been coming to this convention for a long time and I really enjoy it. This is one of the ones I like to call home. With me today I have Lori. Lori is the convention chair for 13. And so we're going to put her on the spot here and ask her some questions. So first off, how's the convention going, Lori?
You know, I'm a little concerned because we got a little low attendance this year, but that's partially my fault. We got things started a little late. But other than that, we have some exceptional guests of honor in Alex
Okay.
Bledsoe, Kevin
Yeah.
Hearn. Alex Bledsoe, who writes the Eddie Lacrosse series. And we have Kevin Hearn, who writes the Iron Druid Chronicles. And we also have Lynn Laxo, like you.
Oh, Lynn, one of my favorite people. We will be interviewing her later today.
Lynn is just amazing because she's what we call a fan guest of honor, which means that she's, like you, been coming to the convention for years, throws the best room parties
Oh, yes.
that hopefully I can try to remember. And and she's just a really good geek, spreading the love, because when she was in the Navy, every time she would go to a new port, she's like, okay, where's the geeks?
Yes.
Let's do a convention, you know, and so she's just been
Yes.
phenomenal.
Yes, she's great. So, along with that, what are some of the other things that you have going on this weekend?
Well, Odyssey Convention is mainly a sci-fi fantasy convention, so we have things with panelists discussing Star Trek versus Star Wars. The theme this year is Steer Trek, considering this is Odyssey Con.
Oh,
we have
yes.
to have a cow theme because we are in Wisconsin.
Yes.
And so we have Star Trek versus Star Wars. I went to a discussion this morning on steampunk, but we also had a lovely literature panel that I went to yesterday on using the Tarot for writing. I never thought of that, and I thought it was great because
Yeah.
you can do character development, you can do plot, you can do storyline,
Yeah.
and that's just that segment of it. We also have a gaming track
Okay.
that my husband Brian has been part of, because this wasn't part of OdysseyCon originally, was the gaming. We bring in board games from out-of-the-box games, we bring in role-playing games from companies like Open Design or, of course, D&D, you know,
Correct,
whatever people
yeah.
want to play. And we also have a gaming track. Right now we've got people painting minis.
Oh, yes, yes.
And it's a lot of fun stuff, and we try to bring in a variety of geekdom, fandom. We also have an excellent dealer's room with games, books, costumes. You know, Ingrid, who runs our dealer's room this year, says that she will put a Celtic knot on anything. And she will, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous stuff that she has, jewelry, clothing, etc.
Okay.
So, oh, and my tiara.
Whoa! Don't.
Can't lose my tiara because that's
Yeah.
how I tell people, if you want me the con chair, look for the tiara.
So, speaking of looking for the con chair, what made you look to be the con chair this year?
My husband was the con chair last year
Ah.
and co-con chair 2 years ago.
Okay.
And he figured it was my turn. Actually, he didn't even say it to me. I just volunteered because I'm good at organizing things, or so I like to think. And so I thought, I could do this for 1 year, and besides, 13, people think it's an unlucky
That's
number.
your lucky number.
It's my lucky number.
Yes,
Brian and I were married on
yes.
the 13th of July,
Yes.
1991. So for me, it's a lucky number.
Yep.
But
I did read your bio, and I did notice that it did say that 13's my lucky number.
13 is
so
my lucky number. In
that's
fact,
good.
my husband has a custom Packers, I don't know if you can see this, my Packers logo, or tattoo. I got him a custom jersey 1 year and the number's 13.
13. Haha. Okay.
So yes, I could do it for 1 year, but there is going to be a person next year for the new chair.
Okay, so this year seems to be going pretty good. Everything that I've seen, people are just really enjoying themselves.
Thank you.
The gamers are really getting into the games. What I'd like to know is, what do you have on tap for 14? What's going on next year?
Oh, we already have a logo and a theme.
Okay.
It is Dr. Moo,
Dr. Moo.
and
I wonder why.
our artist, Georgie is her name, has already drawn up a logo that includes William Hartnell, who played the first Doctor,
Right.
and the current Dr. Matt Smith, and of course a TARDIS, so everything's going to be TARDIS blue next year. And it's called Dr. Moo, and you know, we're just going to go from there.
Do you have the dates selected yet?
Yes, we do. It's the second weekend of April, which I want to say is it's either the 11th, 12th, and 13th, or else it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th. I
Okay.
can't remember the dates.
We'll look that up
It's
and
the second,
we'll,
it's the second weekend in April.
We'll run it on the bottom down here what the real dates are when we got them for sure. So anyway, I want to thank you for stopping by. Number
you.
one, thank you for letting us come in and kind of run roughneck around your convention here. Not many people do that, but thank
Hey.
you for being con-chair.
We geeks have to stick together.
There you go. You got it. And like I said, thank you for being con-chair this year, and you've done an excellent job. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good day.
Okay, so that was Lori Ann Curley, con-chair for Odyssey Con 13. She did an excellent job. Really brought a good convention together, and everybody had a lot of fun. Also, speaking of fun, at that convention was one of my personal favorite friends, Lynn Laxo. And Lynn was the fan guest of honor. She was quite busy putting on parties. And also she had the responsibility of doing a couple of panels. So while we're on the theme of Odyssey Con 13, here's my little interview with Lynn Laxo. Today I'm reporting from OddCon 13 in Madison, Wisconsin, and we have with us Lynn Laxo, who is the fan guest of honor. This is the famous Lynn. If you've ever heard about her room parties, this is the person that throws them. I've been to a couple, and I tell you what, they're a lot of fun. Sometimes I remember them, sometimes I don't, but always fun. So Lynn, what's it like being a guest of honor, a fan guest of honor at a convention that you've come to for years throwing parties at?
I was really surprised when they asked me. I've been coming to this for probably 10 or 11 years.
Yeah.
And I just come and help out and stuff. So when they asked me to be the fan guest, it was quite an honor.
Well, that's good. I know when I saw it listed on their webpage, I go, oh, that's probably the best person I could think of right now to be a fan guest of honor. So what have you got planned for tonight? I know you got to have something up your sleeve for tonight.
Actually, we did it last night and tonight again. We're doing a Mirror Universe Cow Star Trek party.
I'm not going to ask. So, what got you into doing parties at conventions? What motivated you to
It
do
actually
that?
started by accident. I'm notorious for losing my room keys. So we'd prop the doors open.
Oh.
And lo and behold, we'd put in a movie, we'd have a bar set up and food, and people would just trickle in.
Oh, that's good.
So it grew from that
just
into
kinda-
I might as well just keep the door open.
So, how long does it take you to plan for a convention party?
This one was about a month.
About a month. Okay.
Planning food and drinks, and then we have to come up with names for everything.
There you go. What do you got on special tonight?
Actually, we have, Andorian Ale.
Ah, okay.
We've got Orion Slave Punch. Vulcan Blood.
Oh boy, should be an interesting party. Sorry, I'm going to have to miss it. I got other engagements tomorrow, which I can't miss. So I'm going to have to miss your party this year, and I'm
Oh, no.
really sad about that. What got you into science fiction?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. As far back as I can think, I've been interested.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, my first con was an accident.
An accident.
I had a free weekend, didn't have anything to do, and they were having a convention at Olympia Ski Resort
Oh, okay.
back in the early 80s.
Okay.
And somehow during the course of the weekend, I ended up on top of the ski hill with a bucket of blue stuff. So,
I can picture that. Okay.
with a large following, so.
So I understand also you spent several years in the Navy, and that you kind of traveled around,
Oh, yeah.
and you were always looking for the geeks
Oh, yeah.
and the nerds. Tell me about your experience there with the Navy.
Well, basically, every base we would go to, the first thing I would do is find out where the nearest convention was and how I could get time off for it. When we went to Scotland, we were what do they call us? The American guests of honor.
Oh, the American.
We were the only Americans there.
Oh,
So we were adopted.
I bet that was fun. Well, Len, I do appreciate you stopping by Sci-Fi Nut and taking a few minutes to talk with us and having a laugh or two. And keep throwing your parties, and I'll
will.
keep coming. Okay? thank you much, Lynn.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a good day and have fun at this convention.
Oh, I will.
All right.
Thank
bye-bye.
you.
All right, that was Lynn Laxo, and like I said, one of my favorite people to see at a convention, because if I see her, I know we're going to have fun. Been to a couple of her parties, and yeah, it was good. So anyway, another part of Sci-Fi Nut web program is gaming. Now let me talk about gaming for just a moment. I get into a lot of role-playing games, board games, miniatures, things like that. I don't do computer games. I don't get into computer games. There's other programs out there, lots of other web programs that deal with computer games, and there's just so much out there. I'm not going to worry about getting into it. So if you're tuning in to watch about video and computer games, wrong program. But if you're tuning in for board games, role-playing, and miniatures, oh yeah, stand by. This is the place. We're going to be talking some about that stuff as much as we can. One of the things that we did do at OdysseyCon is we happened to run into James Miller. If you don't know James Miller, he is the owner, operator, chief cook, bottle washer, as I say, of Scrying Eye Games. Now they make map sets mostly. They've got some wonderful map sets for different gaming systems, and his wife makes some really good dice bags. But we got to talking, and he had a special announcement that he wanted to get out to the general public, gamers specifically. So we had a chance to sit down at OddCon and talk a little bit. So without further ado, let's bring on James and his interview and his special announcement. Hello again. Here we are today at OdysseyCon 13 in Madison, Wisconsin. And I have a special guest with us today from Scrying Eye Games is James Miller, the owner and operator and chief cook, bottle washer, all of that kind of stuff. So, welcome to the show, James.
Thank you.
I appreciate you stopping by and talking to us today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Scrying Eye Games before we get into other things?
Scrying Eye Games was started up mostly myself and a friend, Rick Ricci. We wanted to be able to sell our maps through various means, and we've expanded massively. Rick is still attached to the group. Hopefully we can get some more maps out of him sometime soon. We have a group of artists who've all supplied different map sets for all types of tabletop gaming. We don't care what it is. If it's a map, we'll make it. We just enjoy doing the art, and we actually get to sell it. So at this point, we've got about 50 map sets. We also have a couple of books with Game Worlds.
Okay.
And we have a few, fun little twisted things like our "Wish You Were Here" postcards and our "My First Apocalypse" coloring book.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, we've got some fun, which, by the way, was done by a school teacher. So yeah, we've got a wide selection of stuff, but we mostly specialize in maps.
Yeah. We were talking earlier down in the dealer's room. There is one product that you guys are hand making. Every time you go to a convention, you're sitting down and actually making this. Your dice bags. Can you tell us how that kind of came about?
My wife is not a gamer. She just likes to make things with her hands. She's a seamstress. Her comes from a long line of quilters.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll just sit down and start making dice bags. She doesn't think anything about it, and all of our dice bags are completely handmade by her. 100%.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually seen the dice bags, and they look pretty darn cool. I think if you ever get out to a convention and you find James and his wife at a dealer's table, definitely check out the dice bags if you're a gamer. Now, also, are you on Facebook?
Yes.
How can people contact you?
Best thing to do is go straight to our website, www.scryingeye.com, and from there, at the top, you've got links to our Twitter page, to our Facebook page, and also there's a direct contact form at the bottom of every single page.
Okay.
So.
All right. So make sure you check them out. Now, also today, James decided to come by, and he had a special announcement that this is going to be a Sci-Fi Nut exclusive. It looks like we're going to get the jump on everybody. So, would you like to tell us what's new in your world?
Sure. One of my favorite licenses that I've been able to work with is Traveler. Mark Miller's Traveler Universe. I've been playing it since the little black box set came out in 1977.
That makes two of us.
You too.
Oh,
okay.
definitely.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite games.
You know, you got to have that Type S Scout, you know. When I was talking to a friend, he had published a set of novels, young adult novels, the Starseeker series. His name is Edward Finch, and he and his son have put out, at this point, 3 books. They've got actually 3 more books on top of that are done. So what we've done is he's putting together all the Traveler stats, and Scrying Eye Games will be publishing at Origins this year the first set of his books translated into Traveler rule set.
Oh, that is neat. That is neat.
They are, and he will be there to autograph books.
That will be good. Be almost worth making the trip out there just to do that. So, do you distribute these yourself, or do you have distributors available out there?
Right now, we're talking to 2 distributors.
Okay.
We're not into distribution yet. We really wanted to make sure that we had all of our supply chain nailed down, because we just moved from Florida to Wisconsin, and I love it here in Wisconsin. We're having a blast.
Okay. That reminds me, your company is based here in Madison, Wisconsin. So you can probably expect to see them a lot more around the area in the different conventions and GeekCon and all of those. So please stop out, say hi to James and his wife, pick up a copy of their new book and new game system. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
No, we're not going to have that until Origins.
Till Origins, right.
It's an Origins release.
Yep.
But we've got plenty of maps to sell and Angela's dice bags.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, James. I appreciate you stopping by today with
Thank you.
Sci-Fi Nut, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again in the future. Otherwise, everybody out there, just have a good day, have fun, and thanks for stopping by. All right. So that was James Miller, Scrying Eye Games, and their announcement on their Traveler Rules sets being released at Origins this year. So if you plan on going to Origins, please look them up and give them a talking to. I think you'll really enjoy talking with James and his wife. They're quite fun people. One of the things that I was doing here on Sci-Fi Nut on our Facebook page was getting people to share the page. The more that we share the page, the more people that get involved, the more information we can pass out, the more information we can get, the more fun we have, the more viewers we get. Then maybe we can start getting some sponsors, and we can really start getting out there and getting to places. Well, one of the things I did was a page contest. Share the page, and you get entered into a drawing. Well, one of the things that I was giving away, the first item I was giving away, was this cute robot toy. It's called the Space Trooper, but if you look at it, it looks a lot like Robbie the robot. So we had some people, take this and share the page, and I'm happy to announce that a friend of mine, Robert, you out there? Robert, this is what you won. This Robbie the robot. We'll be getting that mailed out to you this next week, and you can have all kinds of fun with that, playing with it, or letting your cats play with it, terrorize it, or it can terrorize the cats, and just have some fun and all kinds of stuff. We'll be running those contests again in the future, trying to build up our viewership, trying to build up the people on the Facebook page. We also will be having a website coming up in the future, scifinut.com. I used to have that website. I am currently revamping that so that we can get all of this information, conventions and schedules and all kinds of neat stuff and videos and things all in one place on the web. So watch for that. That should be coming up within the next month or so, maybe two. As I will be moving the studio, so the studios will be moving soon, and I don't want to try to be working on websites and moving studios and everything else all at the same time. So just bear with me, and we'll get all of this done soon. Now, one of the things that we did at OdysseyCon was we interviewed author Alex Bledsoe. I want to say, hey, Alex, I'm sorry that I really wasn't 100%. We did our interview first thing on Sunday morning, and I had caught a little stomach virus, and I don't know if he could tell, but I was in a lot of pain when I was doing the interview on Sunday morning. So it was short and sweet and to the point. And Alex, I'm sorry that I really wasn't a good host and was able to interview you the way you should have been interviewed. But anyway, we're going to get on to the interview now with Alex, and I hope everybody really will pick up a copy of his books and read them. He's an excellent writer, excellent panel member. This weekend, right now, he's at C2E2 in Chicago. If you're there in Chicago, going to C2E2, stop in, see him, tell him Sci-Fi Nut says hi, and just pick up a book and read it. So, without further ado, here's Alex. All right, today we're still at OddCon 13 in Madison, Wisconsin, and we happen to have the guest of honor, Alex Bledsoe. Very nice author. You should read some of his work. Thank you for stopping by the Sci-Fi Nut booth today and taking some time out of your busy schedule to have a chat with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. What's the current thing that you're working on right now?
Right now I'm finishing up the 5th Eddie LaCrosse novel, which will be called He Drank and Saw the Spider.
He Drank.
It's
Okay, that's interesting title.
And for the people out there with arachnophobia, the spider is a metaphor. There are no actual spiders in the book.
All right, well that's me. I hate spiders. So, what gave you the idea of this series? What stuck in your mind and said, "Hey, I'm going to do a series"?
Well, I tried to write it as a straight epic fantasy series for a long time, and it just never worked. It never took on its own life. And then I do a lot of reading of mysteries, the classics like Raymond Chandler and Dashiell Hammett. And
Okay.
It just came to me one day, why don't I combine these things? Why don't I write this epic fantasy as if it were a 40s detective novel?
Oh.
And then it just popped. It just became its own thing and came to life, and it's been working for me ever since.
Well, that's good. With OddCon going on this weekend, what have they been having you doing? Anything interesting happen to you? Panels, anything like that?
The panels have been really interesting, and there have been a lot of them. We had a good time doing our guest of honor readings. I had Amy McNally, a really talented fiddler, come in and play as I read some from my book that's coming out this summer, Wisp of a Thing.
Oh, yes.
And that went over great.
Oh, yes.
And then last night we had to do our guest of honor speeches, and people laughed at mine and at the actual jokes in them. So
that's a good thing.
Yeah.
When they laugh at your jokes and not at your serious
Right.
points. Yes.
And then Kevin Hearn did a tremendously fun presentation. So that was a lot of fun.
Okay, yeah, we're going to try to get Kevin to sit down with us here in a little while also. So what do you got coming up in the future? Anything that you're doing that our fans out there in Sci-Fi Nutland would be interested in seeing?
Well, next week I'm going to be at Deep South/JordanCon in Roswell, Georgia. The week after that I'll be at C2E2 in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back here in Madison for WisCon in May.
Okay.
And in June, Wisp of a Thing is released.
Okay.
So I'll be doing some appearances around that too.
Okay, so you're staying busy for
Oh,
the
yeah.
summer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that's good. So I want to thank you again for stopping by and
thank you.
talking to us.
Appreciate
And
it.
before I forget about it, If we have a viewer out there who'd like to contact you or get more information on your the works that you do and things, how can they get a hold of you?
My website is alexbledsoe.com, and there's contact information there.
Okay, and you're also on Facebook.
I'm on Facebook,
Yes.
Twitter, Google+.
You're on-
You know, you can't be an author without doing social media.
That is very true. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
I do
you.
appreciate you stopping
I
by
appreciate
today, and have fun here in Madison.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, that was a good time that we had with Alex there. Again, I apologize for not doing a really good interview, and I would like the chance, Alex, if you're watching, to sit down with you again in the future and do a little bit better interview where I'm not worried about what my stomach's going to do in the next 5 seconds. I was not able to stick around the convention and do any more interviews. After that point, I just got really sick, and so I packed up and headed for the house. And sorry if I didn't get to anybody else that I should have. Hopefully we can all meet up again in the future and get some more of those good interviews going. Again, part of what we do is comics and games. We talked a little bit about the games a few minutes ago. For the comics, I'd like to get out to some comic conventions, things like that. Which brings up a sour point with me. If you're going to call yourself a convention, do something. Have some panels. Have somebody come in and do some talks. Show something. Do something other than sell your books. If you're going to do a comic show and sale, fine. Call it that. But please don't call it a comic book convention. So that leads me, segue into a nice little thing, into the Janesville Comic Book Convention, put on by a group of people that go around to different cities, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, wherever, and they call themselves a convention, but what they're really doing is selling comic books. They buy, sell, trade, which is fine with me. Everybody needs to do that. I've done that. I just have a problem with calling it a convention. So anyway, here's another one of my videos without any talking in it. Sorry, Robert, no talking, but there's some things that run across the bottom of the screen that you can read and take a look at what happened at the Janesville Comic Book Convention. righty. That was the Janesville Midwest Comic Convention. It was a nice little thing. They did have several people in there buying, and as I was arriving, there was a couple of people walking out with big, huge stacks of comics. Some really good prices and some comic books I had not seen in a lot of years. So if you go to their website, they do list other places within an easy drive from now through November that they'll be set up at probably about once a month. There is one in Milwaukee coming up. There's one in Madison coming up. So yeah, check out their website, and I think you'd be really happy to go to one of their shows and probably pick up some comics that you don't have that you're really looking for. Well, anyway, kind of do a wrap up of our show now. This is episode 1 of Sci-Fi Nut. I hope that you have enjoyed it. There's some things that I wanted to tell you about. I am recording this, so hopefully we'll be able to get this recording onto our Facebook page, right down here on the bottom. Hopefully within 24 hours we should be able to post that on our Facebook page. And also here on Ustream, it should be available right after this broadcast. It should be available as an on-demand type thing. So just if you missed a part or want to see the rest of it, come on back and check it out. Also, I want to point out a couple of things. Is that on Ustream you notice that we are running with ads because I am on a free app. I am not buying it. I'm just not making any money at this, so it's on a free app, and of course they have to pay for it, so they're going to put on their commercials. Also, if you look right up here, right about there, yep, right there, you'll see a little symbol called VidBlaster. That's the software that I'm using that allows me to change between cameras, upload, download different videos, pictures, even little things like this right here, Sci-Fi Nut Ray Norton. Haha, that's me. But again, this is a free version of this program. There's so much more I can do if I had the paid program. So if anybody out there has got a game company, hint, hint, got a movie company, hint, hint, you want to help pay for this so that we can get rid of all of this extra junk that we don't need, such as the VidBlaster logo and the Ustream commercials, anything like that, give me a shout out. Go onto our Facebook page. Again, that's facebook.com/sci-fi nut. Get onto our page. Please like us, number one. And the second thing is send us a message and say, hey, I own a game company and I want to do a commercial on Sci-Fi Nut. Right now we're going to try to keep this to an hour program, but if we can get some sponsors, get out, start getting some more filming done, maybe put together a crew to help out, get people like you, the viewer, to send us videos that you've done, either a movie that you're doing, a trailer for a movie, maybe a parody of some sort, or you've gone to a convention and you've put together a bunch of still photos into a video, or you actually shot video and edited it together. You know, send it to us. We'll try to get it onto the air. We really do enjoy this. Science fiction is one of my passions, science fiction gaming. Those of you that know me know that I've been into gaming since 1972, 73, and I've been into science fiction since I was about 4 years old, 5 years old. I'll tell you that story probably on another program. But for this week, I want to stop and say thank you to you, the viewer. Thank you for tuning in to this, our first episode of Sci-Fi Nut. And we really appreciate you watching today. And I really hope that you do come back and see us again. I would really, really appreciate that. So, without further ado, This is Ray Norton, Sci-Fi Nuts, signing off, and I hope you have a good week, and we will see you again shortly in the future.